So, first up on my list of Azusa Street survivors and revilers is a YouTube user named Sarah who goes by AccidentalAtheist. Every once in a while on YouTube, you see a video that someone puts out there that just makes you sit there and nod your head, only stopping occasionally to laugh or say words like, "Yep, absolutely, and exactly." Accidental Atheist's two videos on YouTube are just those kinds of videos that to me so completely nail exactly what it's like growing up in a charismatic fundamentalist Pentecostal environment that it almost seems redundant that anyone else would talk about it. There is a moment in one of her videos where she sums up what in my experience is exactly how many Pentecostals see non-charismatic denominations. I quote, "Speaking in tongues, well, obviously that's kind of the point. I mean, if you don't do that, you might as well be Baptist. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, they're probably going to get into heaven. They just might not have as nice of crowns or something. Anyway." Now, when I saw this video for the first time, this bit pretty much killed me with laughter because there was just too much damn truth and insight into how continualists see cessationalist theology. She also, in my opinion, made some very profound statements that resonated with me and about how her family emphasized that faith and belief were acts of will. This really resonated with me because my experience with charismatics, particularly the Word of Faith movement, and how they teach people to actively suppress doubt and reason, and how they are not to look at what is going on in the so-called natural realm, but to see through the eyes of faith, is exactly what she nailed. After her second video, Sarah promised to complete her series eventually. Unfortunately, she hasn't been back in over a year since then, which I think is to the detriment of the YouTube atheist community and the many people coming out of Pentecostalism that need a calm, reasoned voice to guide them through the deconversion process and their exodus from faith. Perhaps this video and a rush of new subscribers I'm sending her way will get her attention and give her some encouragement to tell the rest of her story. Next up on my list of charismatic ex-charismatics is a relatively new YouTube user who goes by the name Discern4. I first became aware of Discern4 through another awesome and insightful YouTube user who goes by Complete Rationality, who you should also be subscribed to. What makes Discern4's videos so interesting, other than his Australian accent, which, let's face it, makes just about everything a person can say that much more awesome, is the insight he gives into why exactly things like the gifts of the Holy Spirit and Pentecostal fears about Satan affecting kids through demonic pop culture influences makes no sense whatsoever. I remember not too long ago that I simply put his video, Demonic Toys, up on my Facebook page as my status, and simply wrote these words: "This. Watch this and understand my frustration and my childhood." One of my Facebook friends who was a big fan of 80s and 90s pop culture saw it and was just like, "Wow, if that was what your childhood was like, I feel for you, man." And I think this speaks to the power of Discern4's video. Sure, the production values, visuals, and musics are all top-notch, but the sincerity that he brings to these subjects he covers have an emotional resonance and sense of humor to them that makes him one of, in my opinion, one of the most underrated members of the community of YouTube non-believers that we are all a part of. Next, I'll deal with two former members of the United Pentecostal Church that made their exit and helped a bunch of people on the way.